You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the podcast of Plan to Prosper. I am Dr. Sharon Campbell, and it is 2026, and it is a fantastic year starting out already. I think about all that we accomplished in 2025, and I'm looking forward to all we're going to accomplish in 2026. And I think about all of the support that we had and all the great feedback that the audience on all our social medias provided for us. And we are blessed. We're so blessed to have you part of the Plan to Prosper podcast show. And so starting this year is so very important because we have some great information for you. And so the month of January is about reading, why leaders should read, and how reading builds successful businesses and nonprofit, and why others that don't read business and nonprofits is not thriving and growing. Now, I'm not saying that you have to read all this material, because I think sometimes people hear one thing, and hearing and listening is two different things. So what we're saying is, if you follow successful people, really follow them, they are talking about the number of books they read a year, what books they are reading and why. And you look at how successful their companies have become. You could go from Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry. You could just think of Michael Jordan. Just think of the people that have built companies. And you were like, I don't want to build those great big old companies. They started right where you are today. We started as a startup, we moved to establish, and then we kept growing until we to the level that we're comfortable with. But never stop reading and learning. That is the most powerful tool you can have. And so I share with people that I love to read. I think learning and being a lifetime learner is one of the powerful tools that you can have in critical thinking, decision making, and to opportunities to receiving contracts and grants. And you can tell the difference. And when people are a reader for clarity and critical thinking, you can look at the way they put together their contracts. You can look at, for nonprofit, their grants, what they're receiving, what they're not, why you're not. And a lot of it come back to the basic of reading. And too often we say to ourselves, we don't have the time, or we don't like reading. I want to encourage you to pick this month as your month to learn something so powerful that it is going to help you grow your company. And it's the basic thing, it's reading. When I speak with people, they're like, well, I just don't like reading. And I want to know, how are you growing your company whenever you have to read the trends? You got to read contracts. And a lot of people get messed up on contracts because they do not read all the way through. Or they get so frustrated when it's time to do an RFP because they don't want to read. And you have to become a lover of learning and reading to be successful. I'm always in a class. I'm always taking something to improve on myself, personal and professional, because that helps me grow. But most important, it helps me help my clients. If you do not have information coming to you about the industry you're in and what is happening in real time, you have failed to grow your business and you've failed yourself. And we don't want you to do that. Reading is about strengthening your decision making, giving you the most current information possible. And if you want to go to our website, which is www.thesharoncampbell.com, and look under our blog and download the first article of the year about reading, you will find it so helpful to you. See, reading expand your vision for your company. It helps you improve your strategic thinking. One of the things I think is a powerful thing about reading is that it sharpens your mind. It helps you look beyond where you are to where you can go. And it avoids costly mistakes that you made. Many times on contracts and on grants, it is because we didn't read. And many times people can read. There's a difference between reading and understanding and comprehension. Totally two different things. So, but the more you read, the more you understand, the more you comprehend. Point made. So I'm going to share you with what I have been doing as a lifetime learner about reading. I read on the average 5 books a month. And someone says, how do you do that? Well, first, I'm grounded in reading the Bible. I choose a book in the Bible and I said, well, this is the book. I pray about it, I meditate about it, and then I go to it. And I read for understanding. See, the Bible teaches you read for understanding, not just read. And so that gives me a lot. So this year, starting, we are studying about prayer and the power of prayer. And so we're reading on different books in the Bible about prayer, but then at the same time, we're homing into one particular book. And so when I went to church on Sunday, pastor passed out a book, and it was prayer. And we'll be starting our fasting and prayer in January the 11th to the 31st. And so I'm looking forward to that and writing in the prayer journal. So that's the first book. The other one is I always love to do affirmations. So I always have an affirmation book that I'm reading. It's always about pouring into myself some positive affirmation every day. And I may just read 1 page, sometimes 2. Now, so let me open this up. Forgot to share you the first part of the story, because I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I set aside some time for this. That makes a difference. So you got to schedule your time for reading. So I schedule 4 in the morning. Let's get up, let's get focused. And I have a little reading nook that I have all the books I want to read for that month. The second book I read is something about how to grow my company, how to expand. And so if you follow our Facebook, you're going to find out that we're reading one thing but we also, it's a book, and we also be reading 2 workbooks that go along with it. And so I want you to go to our Facebook, which is Sharon Campbell Solution Group, and you're going to see the advertisement of the books. And you can also go to our website. But we're going to have a lot coming out starting next week, because we want you to purchase the book and get ready, because we're going to be reading that for 30 days. The other one I like to do is I like to read stuff for fun. So I will find a book that I just enjoy reading that builds me up, like an autobiography of someone, or something that's different. Because you need to have, for me, I need a balance of all of that going on. And then I will pick up another spiritual book, which it could be something with activate the promises of God. And so I just start reading different scripture. So I read in the morning time for an hour, and then I read at night for an hour before I go to bed. I limit myself to social media, because that I find information, and I'm always looking for great articles on LinkedIn that have some of the best writers of work I have seen that I share with my clients, and it also educate me. So I like reading some of the stuff they put out there, especially if it's in the industry of the work that I'm doing, or my clients, because I enjoy sending articles to my clients about current events. That is it. I don't watch a lot of news, TV. I just feel that if I put all this positive stuff inside of me, I would keep growing my company more and more. And I have found that to be really successful. And I learned that from reading other business owners that has built their wealth through reading. I think about Michelle Obama. I think about her husband, President Obama, and how many books and stuff. And they give you their reading list. Oprah also share her reading list with you. So I'm just saying to you, if you want to build wealth, number one, you must incorporate yourself as a lifelong learner. And so tonight, first night back for 2026, it's about introducing you to becoming the reader that's inside of you. Take a class. I take online classes. I even take face-to-face class. I'm taking a photography class because I want to learn how to take better pictures. And I also want to learn Photoshop. That's invested in myself, personal and professional. And I build that in. Now, I hear someone say, you must not have any children. I think it's not about having a family. I think it's about time management. I think that you can do whatever you need to do if you manage your time. And I think sometimes we spend too much time strolling, watching someone else's life that's not helping you build your company. So you got to think about people that's building their company, their brand. They don't spend a lot of time on Facebook and all the social media. And then when they do, they're giving you content so they're expert in their field, so that you would be comfortable enough to reach out to them. And so I spend my time doing that. I love to read different articles about what I do. I love the fact that I work in a space to help businesses grow and thrive. I work with nonprofits. I have partnership with people that is expert in AI, that we get workshops online to people, and it's a money back guarantee. You pay your $50, you turn the workshop. If it doesn't work for you, we don't answer your question, you receive your money back. You can't get better than that. And so that's next level. We're having that January the 20th on a Saturday from 9, start of 9. It's about 3 to 4 hours. And I'm telling you, the time go far fast. We get a break. It's about education, education, education. if you fail to educate yourself, you have just really, you missed the boat. And I don't want you to miss the boat. I want you to do that. And so the other thing I want to talk to you about is to help you think about how to design your reading mindset, how to become your vision, your strategic, your growth, help you understand that by reading, you understand how to design a strategic plan, system, organization models, innovation change. All of that isn't, I like AI, but it's not. I think sometimes people tend to use it the wrong way. I know that I received a lot of information from people that's using AI, and it doesn't sound like them, it don't talk like them. And so the things they say is not even in their industry. And so they're using the wrong prompts to generate stuff to send me. And because I studied this, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, there's no way you can do this. Your company is not even set up in this matter. And so we definitely have to understand AI and understand how to use it. Many people also using it as a way, a means of creating curriculum, but that is not serving your client, because your client is not doing that. And so I have seen this so much. And so and that's why it's so important that you go to class. You understand this is what I do. And AI and chat is a tool that you put in there to help clean up your grammar, help clean up your layout, but not you asking it to create something for you to give somebody else. Before chat, you created all of that. And so when you start turning over your intellect to AI, you're going to see a decrease in your client base. It's already showed that. And AI tell you that all the information is not correct. You have to read the fine print that they say. Okay. We have attorneys losing their law license because of they using that, and they citing the wrong cases. You are having people creating their resume on chat. Looks great, interview great. They got the job, get in there, and they can't perform the job because the team thinking you coming with this expertise, and when you get there, you want them to show you what to do, and that's not how it is anymore. They want you to come knowing they're going to help you, but they know that you really don't know after you attend a couple of meetings, and so you got this $100,000 job, and now HR bring you in and question your ability to of being able to do the work, and then to find out that you let chat write your resume, and so it's not even worth it altogether. I think that AI is great, but it's just a tool. It doesn't replace a human being. It doesn't replace your thinking. It doesn't. But see, AI can't think like you. Okay. And so I'm encouraging you to read and to go to class and be able to say, you know what, I need it to do this like I have worked with my clients. Because when you start working with your clients, they're going to know whether you have using chat or not. Because if you haven't been using it, okay, if you've been around a while, it wasn't there, and all of a sudden it doesn't talk like you, it doesn't write like you, it doesn't think like you. And if someone says to me, you can tell when someone used chat, I said, why? It got all the little dashes in there. I said, that's not true. If you go to other people's websites and stuff, but way before chat came out, books had those dashes in there. Books had that. So that's not accurate. But chat tells you that they make mistakes, and this information may not be 100% correct. So I say, figure out how to use it the correct way. Look around. and read in order to choose the best way to how to implement it in your life. Other thing we'll talk about is reading help you deepen your faith and how do you make ethical decisions. It teaches you about sometimes it's best to work in silence, and then after you finish, let people see what you've done. Too often we tend to want to tell everybody what we are going to do, but we need to wait and do it and then show us what to do. And so what I would like for you to do is to encourage you to find 3 different types of books. I think the higher power, I can't tell you what that is for you, but have something you reading around your higher power. And then the other one is find something about your industry that you want to read, or how to build a company. Like sometimes people say, I like to put the audio in. I think that's fantastic. I am a paper person. I want to highlight it. I want to write it. That's how I attain it. So, so you have to figure out which best work for you. And then I want you to think about how to do something that uplift you for personal. Like I said, affirmation is always great. And then something to read for fun. That's so important that you find, if you like a thriller, read that. If you like mysteries, read that. If you like environmental stuff, read that. If you like history, read it. And there's so many different reading clubs on the line that you could get involved in, and they do an excellent job coming together around the world to read a book and talk about it. That is what we are going to do with the Sharon Campbell Solution Group company that plan to prosper podcast, as we kick it off a whole month of January to get you ready to read for 2026. Meaning that's all we're going to be doing 26. Educated. And I'm saying, if you do the work, you are going to see the reward. Reading help you understand your financials. It helps you build better relationships with your significant other, with your families, with your community. Reading help you grow your company 100-fold and more. And so I want you to start thinking about going to Barnes and Noble, or if you like Amazon, find it, but it must be more than just one book. And you do not have to read the whole book at one time. Read a couple of pages, sit with the book, understand it, figure out how to apply it to your life. Even mystery books, sometimes I tell people that solving something in a mystery creates the creativity to how you start solving something strategically in your mind. And so next Wednesday, we're going to have a deeper discussion on reading and what it looks like, how it helps you. So I wanted to shift a little bit over to our nonprofits. Our businesses, stay with me too, because this applies to you also. Businesses and nonprofits can receive grant funding. Reading and understanding and comprehension is why many do not get funded. Do not. It's that simple act of not understanding. And when you add chat and just say, I'll just put in chat and then I will just drop it in there, my goals, my objective, the funder knows that. They know, because guess what? Sometimes chat and all of them AIs, they don't line up. You start talking about one and the next prompt you give is something else, and they start changing it, and you didn't go back to really read it. You may start with the goals up here, and by the time you ask it to do the objective, guess what? Your prompts was not the same, and now you missed it. And so funders that read, especially those program managers, they are reading it and they can pick that up. Whenever you look at designing your budget and you're asking AI to do your budget and it doesn't align with your goals and objectives, it's because that technology because you have not put in the right language for it to do that. And so those are the things I would just want to say that go for a company, business, that you got a grant out there. Yeah, private industry can get money, and you got a nonprofit, and you're like, I don't wrote all of this, and I didn't get funded. Well, there's a reason why, and so we're going to talk about things you can do. I know that during this month, because you got to always plan and get people ready. So January is about getting you ready to do something different. Now, for all of our readers out there, this is about how do we elevate what you're doing so that you can increase your profit line. So the ones that's reading, that's going to school, now we're going to be talking to you about the best books and some of the systems and strategies that's in these books that you can use. So one is, I always tell folks, so we need 7 screens of money. I'm not going to say that is not correct, but you should start off with one first, build that one, and then the second one, make sure it's in the industry that's the first one's in, and the third one, make sure so you can't start off with 7 altogether because you're only one person, even if you have a staff and you're doing something total. So I would say, think about whenever Apple came out with one product, then it added another one, it added another one, and now Apple have all of these products, which is different screens of money, right? Because the money they make and the counting they do they want to sell 1 million iPads. It's different when they say, I want to sell 2 million watches versus I want an iPhone, but I want a flip one, I want this or this. They already have figured that out. So all of that's coming in different parts of money, because when they did the research and design, it was for a different product, but it's in the same industry. So what I'm saying is you can have different levels of income coming but you got to stay in the industry that you're in order for it to generate. So you can't, I put it this way, I would not, because you do whatever you want to do. I just don't suggest that you be in different industries when you're trying to be an expert in this one. Branch off to say, what else can I do in this industry? Because you're in the industry already that can continue generating revenue. And believe it or not, you are able to do that over and over again. So let's take Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A did not serve breakfast. Now, but all of a sudden now, Chick-fil-A serve breakfast. And the same clients or the people that go get the sandwiches before, there wasn't served breakfast. Now they're going for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They stayed in the same industry. They offer another screen of money, which is their breakfast menu now. So now they have kept their clients and expand them at the same time. So I hope that helps you to understand that you can have these different ones, but you need to think about how to do it, and reading helps you align with that. It's just I tell people, it's just a no-brainer. And we want to help you learn how to read in a way that it is beneficial to you, personal and professional. And so join us next Wednesday, same time, same place, on all the different platforms that we're on. Look for our information flyers that's going out. Look for our website, which is www.thesharoncampbell.com. Go to the blog and download the information about reading, because it has some great tips and strategies to how to do that. Read for understanding, read for fun, read for laughter. Join a reading group. If you have somebody else reading with you, because we're going to be reading, so you could join us, it's going to make a big difference. Talking to other people around the world that you're reading a different book. Oh my goodness, talking to someone that may be in Alaska and y'all reading the same book on history, if you're a history buff like myself. That is just meeting someone from a different state is so breathtaking. Meeting somebody from a different country that's talking and reading the same book that you are, it gives you a different outlook on the way other people think about what they read and what they interpret it to be. And you build relationships. And those relationships, guess what happened? They build what? Great information. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You're doing a great job, great show, and everything like that. I know that we have a listener regularly that comes in from Bangladesh, so you might be having a listener because he comes on our new show and everything like that, and he's got his own foundation and everything like that. So I know Dr. Sharif watches a number of the shows from Bangladesh, and we've got people watching it from Australia and other places as well. So I know that he's one of those listeners that you're talking about. So you might be reaching somebody in Bangladesh, Australia, Nigeria, England, and a number of other places as well. But I know he's got a big summit coming up, I think, in this month as well. So I might have him reach out to you because he's trying to find people that are willing to be online to help him with his big summit that he's got coming on, because he's got a bunch of education students and everything like that, because he's involved with a couple of the universities there in Bangladesh as well as other parts of the Asian theater. So it'll be interesting to see whether he's able to help you on this show as well. So Dr. Sharif is his name, and he's got the World Economic Talent Forum and everything like that. So it airs on the network as well. I think it's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then he appears regularly on our news program.
Thank you, Mark, because you know what, as you was listening and our audience said, it's about reading and, being able to be part of his platform to teach the details about reading. They can join a reading group and you learn so much about partnering with them that now they're like, oh, wow, we got some clients over here in Bangladesh that would love to, that need your service. So thank you for sharing that with our audience. I was letting them know this is our kickoff month. Mark is our producer to our shows. He have a show himself. Tell them about your show, Mark.
My show is the Online Dinner Party. I just finished airing it earlier today, where I had two musicians, a filmmaker, and a business coach and everything like that. But I usually invite, like you would at a dinner party, if you were living in a house or even if you were living in an apartment, you might invite some friends over and y'all would just learn about each other and have fun. Maybe you're playing games, maybe you're doing other things, but that's why I call it the Online Dinner Parties. I just invite friends, some that I know, like I knew two of the musicians that I invited, and I have got to know the filmmaker to some degree, him and his wife and everything. But then there was the gentleman, Wayne Pratt, who I didn't know, except for I met him through one of the podcasting services. So there might be people that I actually physically know and know in real life, and there might be people that I only know through the internet, but we just get to gather and learn from each other. And it's my way of bringing some peace and enlightenment to the world, because we learn about everything from the imposter syndrome to the work-life balance to a number of other things that are talked about regularly. So definitely it's a way for people to learn from each other. And one of the things I love is when the guests actually interview each other. So I don't mind it when a guest will come in and say, I've got a question for you, if they're in a different field, and ask each other questions. So I actually encourage that. And it actually happened today. The guy from Canada wanted to know, because the filmmaker had also worked with food trucks in New York. So he wanted to know where the best food trucks were in New York. And Raphael gave him some suggestions of food trucks in that area that he might want to attend, as well as some great restaurants here in the Raleigh-Durham area, since he's now moved here to this area. So, like I said, it's just a casual conversation, and there's no telling which way the conversation may go, which is why I like doing it, because it's a random amount of guests and random conversation.
Yeah, Mark, we have over 8 billion people in the world.
Yeah.
And what you just said was, if I don't have my show, all these people will never meet one another, and they're from different parts of the world.
Right.
But now, guess what? They have a conversation, and that's what book clubs and your show about, is bringing people from around the world together to have a conversation, to get to know one another, and then bring enlightened strategies and how do we help each other around the world.
Yeah, how you help each other around the world, and not only that, but it also lets people shatter some of the stereotypes. Because one of the reasons that we have a lot of stereotypes is because people don't really know the individuals that they have the stereotypes about. So you might find out that not every Mexican likes a certain kind of Mexican food or Mexican music and everything like that, because those are stereotypes and everything. And not everybody that is African American is into hip hop. We're into other kinds of music as well and everything like that. So it's a way to shatter the stereotypes and all along those lines.
I agree with you. I know when I was working on my master's at Walden, we had people around the world, and some of us are still talking to one another. Yes. 10 years later, we still keep up with one another, what's going on and everything, because we built that relationship. Mm-hmm. Guess when? Online talking. And so we still keep in contact, and we keep people updated. Well, Mark, I want to thank you so very much for hosting our show today. The kick off about reading. January is about getting people comfortable with reading and the importance of it, and become a lifetime learner. We'll be back next Wednesday at 6 p.m. and we are looking forward to continue educating you and showing you books to read and how to get involved. Have a great night, everyone.
Sounds great. So we're going to get on out of here with that same video that got us in here. So let's get on out of here.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings, but now I shine with your reflection on me. Getting back up on my feet.